Hi, this is Vrinda. You may casually be scrolling through your social media, your X, your Instagram, your Facebook, and then suddenly you will be confronted with a leaked viral video from an alleged sex scandal. No blurring effect has been added over these images and videos. The identities of the women are not protected. No trigger warnings are added, and you are meant to consume such a video the same way as any other. This has happened to me multiple times over the last few days, and each time I have paused in shock at the fact that I am witnessing something like this. The issues here are far more than I can possibly recount in the span of a short video. But there are multiple levels at which such a consumption and propagation of these videos affects people. Firstly, think of the women who are involved in these videos. There are many on social media who say that the women are consensually involved. But think about it, consent is never so easy to be understood just from a viral video clip. And even if somebody consents to be in a relationship with somebody, that does not mean that they consent to have their videos published across social media, to have their identities revealed for everyone to see, to have their intimate lives exposed to the scrutiny and interest of lakhs of people. In most of these cases, the man who was involved is connected to any political party. He has social and political and legal clout. And we know what usually happens in these cases. The men move on with their lives. They come back to public life after a few years. People usually don't really remember what had happened, and nobody talks about it. But the women in these videos, hardly anyone is talking about who they are and what they are going through when the videos are viral. And after a few years, they are completely erased from public memory. Nobody knows where they disappear, where they go, what happens to them. And this simply happens because there is a greater acceptance for the man who is involved in these videos as opposed to the woman. The women are simply seen as commodities who are used and discarded by the person involved and also by the consumers, the viewers of these videos. These videos are consumed with glee and with great interest. But do you pause to reflect on how this may affect the lives of the women who are involved? They can be found out easily. We live in an age where social media access is available like it has never been before. Imagine the vulnerability that these women are exposed to. They can be stalked, bullied, and further harassed by a score of anonymous strangers, by people who just find out their profile on social media. Their numbers can be leaked. Their home addresses can be leaked. Imagine the risks they face in stepping out of their homes. Imagine and then think of the fact that if they were coerced into these relationships, we are all then party in exposing their trauma, their ordeal in front of the whole world. But do we hear a word of concern for the women who are affected in these cases? Very rarely. Their personal dignity is simply not considered in such cases. And what I also saw this time was that older, unrelated videos of women were being circulated online, and it was being claimed that they were also involved in these incidents. Without any verification, without any proof, fake claims were made. In Manohar Thakur's case, an imaginary Muslim woman was created, and it was claimed that she was the woman in the video. A horrendous case is turned into a communal attack, into an opportunity for a communal targeting of a community and for the women of that community. There are endless posts on X, on Twitter, where people are asking for these videos. They are openly demanding that they be sent these videos. There are handles, Twitter handles, which are selling them in return of follow requests. They're demanding that you follow me and I'll send you the video. That is the ease with which the privacy of these women is being completely violated. This is what the debate around women's safety and dignity has come down to. After years, after decades of talking about these issues, this is how we respond. This is our level of sensitivity. And it only goes to show what social media consumption culture has come down to. There is no engagement with the fact that the women in the video should be protected. Just before the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the case of Prajwal Revanna came up in Karnataka. Thousands of videos, it was said, thousands of videos that showed him assaulting hundreds of women went viral across social media. But think of what happened to the women in the city of Hassan, the city where Prajwal Revanna was the MP. Women who were involved in those videos had to go underground. They had to hide from their own families. The News Minute did an extensive series of reports on this case, on the aftermath of this case, which you should look up. The families of those women were trolled and they were shamed. Young women who had seen those videos were scarred. They became mistrustful of social and personal relationships, of the fact that they would be protected by the police when they wanted that. There are unequal power hierarchies in all intimate relationships and in fact in all relationships. But it is much more so in the case where these men, where these abusers, they belong to political parties. And the leakage of such videos always has an added interest. But we should pause to reflect on what we are doing here. Critique the party all you want. Critique the man all you want. Comment on all kinds of social and political degenerations that you want to. But why do this at the expense of the women who are involved in those videos? Why punish them for all of their life? Why banish them from the prospect of a social and public life? And there is another point here. Think of the women who may have been abused in their lives and who are suddenly exposed to such videos. Such graphic imagery can trigger severe traumatic responses amongst survivors of assault or privacy breach. Talk to any woman that you know. It's almost a record. No woman in India will say that she has not faced some amount of harassment, some amount of abuse, some amount of breach of her dignity and privacy in public life or in intimate life at some point. We are exposing thousands of women to such videos. We are exposing thousands of survivors of assault, of abuse to such videos without pausing to reflect on what we are doing to their collective psyches. Are we considerate towards the fact that we live in a society which has a very, very high incidence of rape and most of which goes unreported? How can our engagement be so voyeuristic, so blatantly inconsiderate? Even if there are no laws in place, even though there are, but imagine if there were no laws in place, what would we do then? Would we just continue to expose and to harass these women further on? Do we not prolong their harassment by sharing these videos in this way? Should we not pause to reflect on what we are doing? It will have to be us. It will have to be, these answers will have to be framed from within us. We will have to think about how we are engaging with these political questions, but at the same time protecting the dignity and the identity and the privacy of these scores of women who deserve a second chance, who should not be banished from public and social life for all of their lifetime. So the next time that you come across such a video, think about what you're seeing. Think about maybe reporting it. Think about writing about it, about how it should be discussed in public, in a public platform. And this is our new channel, as I always say, Ravish Kumar Nai Sadak. Make sure to subscribe it and follow us here. Till next time, this is Vrinda.